Your spirit has been calling for answers. You're not imagining it. Welcome to Amelia's special show.
Hey, I'm Chelsea. I'm another target from Arizona.
Yeah, so here's Chelsea. She's a courageous whistleblower, an amazing, courageous woman. Honestly, there's not a lot of people who have the audacity to walk out of a cold and expose the healthcare system and expose a prostitution ring of electronic torture on how they are being paid also, and how money has been deposited in our bank account, how our checks have been got bigger, and how much they ask her to lie to patient, and how much basically their organization is working overall on how they target pretty girls in society, not just girls, but I think we saw it like with targeted justice. Those people were flagged. I think like 70% or 60% are women. Anyways, there's a majority of women that are being flagged.
Yeah, so she's right. So when in order to do this targeting to us, they have to place us on the terrorist list. We learned that from Targeted Justice, and 60 to 70% of the people on the terrorist list are women, which is ridiculous.
And kids are on the list too.
And kids are on the list.
They're putting kids of 5, 6 years old on that list too.
Mm-hmm. 5 and 6 years old.
You know, I'm gonna do a video very soon of a movie. I shared this story where in the old times they were playing sick games on even like throwing apples as people were like in the sand, and they were just waiting for those people to die as they were like throwing apples, and it was old barbaric like way of torturing and humiliating people publicly. So they have found a way to continue their sneaky way of continuing this barbaric movement. And I really was naive. I was so naive. I don't know about you, Chelsea, but I think we were both naive, and we never imagined how barbaric and violent it used to be in the past. And now they continue the same thing, but in a sneaky way. And they do it remotely with technology, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. Remotely with technology, they can find us through these cell phone towers, these satellites, drones, droids, directional antennas, our own cell phones. Yeah. Stuff like that. Like there's nowhere we can really hide when somebody logs on to like a satellite or something like that. Amelia has satellite stalking like me.
Yeah, there are a lot. Like in my case, they are a lot.
Yeah. So you probably got placed on the terrorist list by your country in Canada, and me. I don't know who placed you, but I know that this Tybro cult placed me. So, yeah. So they have to have some link with corruption, basically, in the mafia that they call the mafia, the criminal organization. Those who are basically have stolen some lands, some money, some wealth. Like I went to see a psychic in Miami. Believe it or not, I showed myself in front of that psychic, and she came up to me straight up. You have been victim of extreme jealousy. They found a way to override and sit on your energy. And she said that there's an abuse of power in the government in my case, and that basically that there was some lands and some money stolen from me, and that there's that and implicated my own family into that. So we have to do investigations. And again, those who say that we cannot talk against the government, these are not my words. These are words that were told by someone else. Obviously, we need to have an investigation before anything that we actually can know who is behind that. There is a clear abuse of power. And abuse of power can happen in the healthcare system, in the bank system, in the government. It can be you or me. It can be anyone in any work that exists in this world from any position. And so we obviously need, again,
to do investigation before saying anything. I'm only speaking words that were told by someone else. Like I said, the psychic in Miami who told me that.
It sounds like she was right on.
Yeah, and I didn't know what they were doing. Like she said, sitting on my energy, which is crazy because this is what they're able to do, and it explained also why so many kids or so many sudden death happens, because they can physically add a weight on you. As they left me scars on my ears, they were able to put a weight on my ear since I'm a kid, electroshock on my legs also since I'm a little baby. So they started this prostitution ring of electronic torture on me from a very young age. And who knows what's gonna come next? Like I am kind of really shocked, but we are about to find out a lot of things. Like everything that has been working side by side, like criminal organization. Because like imagine a human trafficking, how kids who have been missing and people who have reported to be targeted individuals, like we're about to know what started everything and who is working with who, and it's getting exciting to see it, because we have both been victim of horrifying torture.
You're right. We have both been. I want to ask you, so the psychic that you saw, was that the one that you told me they lighted her eyes on fire or something like that?
Oh my god, yeah, we have to talk about that. Okay, so basically I decided to first refuse the vaccination. I'm not vaccinated.
I think that's why you got added on the list, by the way, the targeting list.
No, I was targeted before that.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
But yes, it could be a potential reason, because there was really psychopath people. You see, like you can just do bicycle in the street, and sometimes you see people with mental illness, like on the road in their car. Everyone has seen in different ways some people who have mental illness. So can you imagine COVID times, like 4 or 5 years ago, where people were isolated, how easy it has been to basically enhance some mental illness, some anger that some people have it, and it's like 10 times probably what they had normally. So I think I probably spoke to the wrong people that I didn't want to get it. And at that time, just to have different opinions, some people were almost willing to, they could go very far because you don't have the same opinion, which is very disturbing. It's a lack of intelligence, in my opinion. It is very disturbing that someone will get mad because you have a different opinion. When you think about it, how sick it's that, just think about that. So basically, I was in Mexico and during COVID, and I was tested negative, so I was able to travel even unvaccinated. And I had a video that went viral on my other account, The Army of Angels, that was hacked recently. Unfortunately, I am targeted and hacked in inhuman ways. Even I have some testimony from the Apple Store also. So basically, I was in Mexico for 3 weeks at that time, and the government, the prime minister, announced that they were closing the barrier. They were refusing people to travel if you were not vaccinated. So I was like, if I come back to Canada, I'm going to be maybe there for 2 years without, I don't know. So what I did is I went from Mexico to Miami. Instead of coming back to Canada, I canceled my trip. And there I found my ex, Joseph, who has passed away. So hopefully, Joseph, you are resting in peace right now. And I have a lot of thoughts for Joseph. And I'm also having some chapters for him in my book. And hopefully I can bring justice to him too, because I believe his family was targeted and he was targeted too. Anyways, this is another subject, but I was with him at that time, and I went in Brickell in Miami to see this psychic, and I saw her 1 time or 2 times, and before I see nothing, I didn't speak nothing. I just sat next to her, and she has been operating there with her mother since she was like 10 years old, and at that time she was 25, 26 years old. So
Yeah.
our business in Miami is legit, you know, like she is a real psychic. She really can see people, and you know what I mean, like she's connected on the real stuff. So she's definitely like a good testimony. And what she told me is that they targeted her after she talked with me. So it means explain, and this is going to be a proof and evidence in court that I'm going to use. She is a proof, a living proof that they burned her eyes and they targeted her because she wanted to show me how to have access to my Akashic record and some other things. And because obviously she exposed the extreme jealousy in my family and that I have stolen lands and a lot of things like that. And also that they have been sitting on my energy and that, yeah. So she exposed them basically. And also there's some abuse of powers also. And you know, okay, and I'm gonna finish with that. And basically at the end, she told me, Amelia, we will have to stop talking because there's certain information that you cannot know. Because if you know, it means the reptilian hunters who have tuned into your thoughts, who have been illegally surveilling you, they will know too. And if we want to do this operation and dismantling this human trafficking and terrorism, you cannot know everything. And so she just disappeared after. And she told me they targeted her eyes and her after she talked with me, so that she stopped talking to me. So she has been a whistleblower in that too, a big one. And I think they have been doing this to my entourage and to a lot of people, discouraging people to talk to me, to isolate me. And this is also exposing a larger operation on how they proceed to make people feel like if they're not good enough, as if they are ugly, as if it's too late for them. And they basically play with the entourage and they do big operation to really isolate this target, this one person. It can be a kid too. Let's say like when you go in primary school, let's say you have a 5 years old, a 10 years old, and then they activate the kids in school so that this kid is rejected, or that maybe the kids start taking drugs from the young age. There's so many traps from the devil that we say, but it's not the devil. It's truly criminal organization. It's a human trafficking to really orchestrate and to bring an individual towards, controlling one person. So let's say you bring someone into bad things, into drugs, or into stealing, or into criminal organization, then they will be able to use that person and silence that person and maybe commend that person to participate in larger crimes or collective abuse or human trafficking. So this is what I have to say about that.
That is so horrible. That is so horrible. And I have heard of kids being targeted. I have heard of them being gang stalked at school. So that's really, 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 it's like organized harassment, very, very extreme bullying, unnecessary.
It's crazy because we hear kids in the background. And I think in my book, A Little Girl Behind the Yellow Bus, I talk about my childhood, and I really want to publish this book to really warn kids too, 5, 10 years old. It's very important. We're in a mental war, a virtual war, and they can definitely use our kids to do certain things unconsciously. So we need to learn, kids, they need to learn how to protect themselves and how to be in control of themselves too. The programs that I'm building, it's also for kids so that they can be connected to themselves and they can be aware that there's reptilian hunters, there's terrorism, human trafficking, that are able to tune into the thoughts of kids and command them what to do. So kids, they need to have more protection, and everyone too, from all ages, adult too. And this is what I'm trying to do, to really lower the level of criminality and fraud and serial killers too, because this is all a lack of knowledge and control and self-control. And this is exactly what they do. They disconnect people from who they are. And I want to talk about this, Chelsea. I don't know if it happened to you. But basically, let me know in the comment section if you felt that too. as I was born with a lot of compassion, and I'm very grateful for it because it has been a protection too for me, so that I am not ending up in prison, so that I don't become too greedy. I was always able to come back to my heart and to, what is the most important. And I've noticed how much they have attempted to disconnect me from who I am. I've noticed like how much my compassion was affected at some point, and I was like, whoa. Because my awakening was so strong and powerful, my DNA activation in 2020, I had a mass awakening where I connected back to myself. I was aware finally that I was not my thoughts, I was not my body, but I was my soul, my consciousness, a lot more than I ever thought. I was able to be detached of a matrix, detached of satanic lives that once command me what to do, like a neurological control. And Targeted Justice, this amazing association in the United States, they talk about the dark agenda of greedy individuals. They want to enslave humanity into neurologically controlled mass population. So this is exactly what's happening. And how they achieve that is to take the personality, the compassion of people, disconnect them from who they are, like basically their light, their pure soul, destroy them so that they don't feel nothing anymore, so that they cannot even cry anymore. And then this is what we're seeing in a transhumanism and terrorism. They don't want them to have a personality. They don't want them to have any emotions. And it's so very, very sad. And that's what I want to work with people, so that they can cry again, so that they can have their connection again with themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. And, it's really important that people do realize that we are going to be neurologically controlled. Some of us are already getting neurologically controlled, like how we talk about it with the energy weapons. Because what happens is this nano dust, the chemtrails, the microbot technology, all that stuff, especially the smart dust that's coming out. Basically, when we just breathe it in, just from it being like expelled, in our foods, in the air, the chemtrails, everything like that, it crosses over our blood-brain barrier, and then it can lodge onto our nerves. And once that smart technology is logged onto our nerves, they can literally remote control it. Can just imagine connected to that smart device through Bluetooth, and then be able to send a signal from a cell phone tower, from a satellite to a cell phone tower to your head, to your leg, to anything like that, and literally remote control us. And it's really, really dangerous. And people, I was completely unaware about it. And now, that I've learned about targeted justice, I've learned about Havana syndrome, people finding foreign objects in their bodies, people being hit with directional energy weapons. Why it's so hard for people to speak out? Because if they don't target you, they can target one of your family members and then get them gang stalked, get them hurt, get them killed, get them anything.
I'm sorry, but we have to speak about the video I've seen today. There's an amazing girl on Facebook. I see her video. She talks with AI and she does amazing montage. She has reached a lot of views. She's getting a lot more popular. It's insane. And the last video I've seen today is about basically how they can swap your entourage. So what they talk about is when they target one person, what they will usually do is they will target the entourage before.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is how they explain it. And then they can swap physically certain member of your family or friends or whatever, and they can bring them into facilities, apparently. And then basically you can notice that there's some clones out there that are no longer your families, but that are acting like if they are. And if you're able to prove that it's no longer them and you bring evidence, you could be able to kind of dismantle the operation and then have those original members or people in your reality. I'm not quite sure. It's kind of crazy, but this is what we're finding out. So it's all about evidence, building like a case.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it sounds crazy what she's talking about, the cloning, but it's actually fairly easy. So basically what they can do is they can take stem cells from or they can take cells from you. It could be anything like your skin, They can think about all the tampons and pads we throw away that have like our actual stem cell and stuff on it with our menses blood. So they can take these, they can literally get a hold of your garbage, they can get a hold of you, whatever they need. They can take the cells, regular cells. I believe what they do is they take the regular cells, turn them into stem cells, put them in some sort of like incubator. Because, you know, like here in America, we put babies in incubators. I think it's at 22 weeks now. So just they have incubators now that can grow babies from gestation all the way to birth. So the whole full 40 weeks. So they can literally take your skin cells, turn them into stem cells, put them in an incubator, grow the baby, and then download using voice to school or whatever it is, download the neurological control, wake that baby up and start growing it, doing whatever. These are disgusting black projects or whatever like that that the government works on.
Right.
So cloning is very easy. Cloning is a lot easier than what people think.
Look, I
a lot
have a lot
easier.
of vision.
Yeah, they can download thoughts into that person's head, that clone's head, literally like your thoughts and stuff like that, and like literally turn it into a little you. They can use voice to skull on it. They can talk for it. We already know, like, they can talk for us with this weapon or whatever like that. They can hit us with a specific frequency that literally can control our voice box and everything like that, and talk.
They can basically affect all of the nerves of your body. That you're training, you have a workout. You know what I found out?
Yeah.
Like every move that I was doing, they're targeting live my nerves since I'm a baby, so that I'm not stronger. All to affect the full potential of a person. And once you notice how much they cheat and they target to affect your potential, you're like, but why? What's the point of
They don't want you to be better than other people. I'm not really sure. There's so much jealousy. She's very right. Even with this voice to school, all they talk about is how jealous they are of me. So the jealousy is a very real thing.
Extreme, like, you know, psychic really precisely said extreme jealousy in my family that I've had.
Extreme jealousy.
But it's insane. Like they can do anything they want. Threaten people to not speak up against corruption. You know, I'm not really scared about it. It's kind of hilarious because, you know, it's already too much what has been exposed already. We are really dismantling the entire operation and orchestration and the prostitution ring of electronic torture. And it's insane what's coming next. Like, it's crazy. And they want to buy some time away and just pretend that nothing happens, but what will happen will happen. And I'm very excited to have this purpose, this mission, and to have this with you, Chelsea. I think you're doing this also for all of the right reason, like both of us. Not to brag, but we have been both pushed. I pushed her to be on social media and she has been pushing me too. It's not coming from, it's not for fame, it's not for that we do it. Now, yes, we would love to have a bigger community and make a living out of this, but the first purpose of that is that we are truly survivors of inhuman abuse that is happening 24/7 for me since 2021, and I believe for Chelsea since 2023.
Yeah, about 2022, 2023, yeah.
2022, so it started for her at the same age, about the same time. And so we're truly still victim every day. I denounce it through my yoga. I have a YouTube channel also, Survival Yoga with Amelia. Every Friday, I do live yoga on my TikTok, the Army of Angels United. And basically what I do, I'm very transparent, and I know it looks weird sometimes because I do yoga position and I expose what happens in my biofield. But the idea started because I've noticed how much targeting is happening as I was training in my living room to discourage me from training. So I started to talk loudly in my living room, like as if I was a teacher, like a trainer. And then it really helped me. And then I had the idea to just have my YouTube channel and expose what they do in my space to discourage me from training and to maybe connect and help people and motivate some people to move more their bodies so at the same time. So anyways, and so I know it's a bit weird, but we're trying to be transparent. Every day almost I call Chelsea And I know they have tried to kind of divide us too. Sometimes they told me, Chelsea, she's not a real target, be careful. And then, this is how they do to orchestrate and divide friends or like lovers. And even if they do it and they're able to divide people, I know I sound cheesy, but if they can take the person that you love, it means they were not truly meant to be in your life. And you will believe it once you can once you can know someone that you love even more and that is more aligned with you, that is truly making you more happy. Because you can be comfortable with someone and you can think that you love them, but I believe, they cannot take away the people that are truly aligned with you, like energetically. What do you think about that?
Spirit to spirit, spirit sister to spirit sister. I am a real target.
No, it's crazy. I swear they were sending me this in my mind. They were like, she's lying. She's not a real. I'm like, do you understand how many videos she has sent of herself, like being vulnerable?
I didn't have to embarrass myself all the time.
Like both of us, like we're putting ourselves out there. Like some people now are jealous, maybe because we're gonna do a living, we're gonna talk on stage, we're gonna travel, we have succeeded to let our ego and to be vulnerable, and we have a price that we paid for that. I got a lot of bad things happening to me from that, like from exposing myself so vulnerable and being authentic like that, but we have paid the price, and now we transform that into something more powerful to influence people and to make a living out of that too. Like we're here obviously to build a community, and we want to have more attention, we want to express ourselves, we want to be understood, we want to have more targeted individual to speak up, to denounce more whistleblowers. We truly want worldwide to have all of the prostitution, ring of electronic torture, human trafficking, terrorism to be dismantled. And why it's still happening, Chelsea, it's just a question of corruption, of money and buying people. Like for example, okay, I'm gonna finish with that for that part. But like you're the perfect example. I'm sorry, Chelsea, but for me, I never receive any money from any cult or any criminal organization. Mm-hmm. But for Chelsea, they truly were paying her for a while.
Yeah.
And she walked out of a real cult where she was receiving money for that. So it takes courage, and it shows the level of corruption. And if a girl like Chelsea was being paid to be a part of a criminal organization, and where she was influenced to target other girls and to hack their phone and to monetize that and to look for virgin in society, and also push to lie to patient in society, because Chelsea has her master, she's a nurse, and it's she's the perfect example of the level of corruption in society.
There's so much corruption, and I just barely scraped the tip of it. Like, I was unaware. Like, I thought this cult was like the Illuminati and that they were this and that. They're actually nothing. They're actually nothing. They borrow the equipment. I'm aware. Like, they don't own it. They didn't make it. They borrow the equipment from who? I don't know. I believe it may actually not be from the United States, but that, like I said, I'm not sure. They borrow the equipment. They have the stuff on their computer, and then they just log on. So that's it. And as soon as their stuff is borrow, like borrow, like they don't make satellites. They don't make cell phone towers, so they have to log on and pay somebody to do it.
No,
they have a big,
but it's 24/7. So you're saying that they are renting like the equipment to do that?
Yeah, we know the gang stalkers don't sleep, you guys. By the way, they can hit us with a brainwave that completely makes us not sleep for days. They can do it for as long as they want. Like, literally, there's now technology with these brainwaves that can make you not sleep or tired for God only knows how long. I have one friend, he's a target. He's gone 4 weeks without sleeping. He's like, I've gone 4 weeks. They don't let me sleep, and then they let him take a little power nap, and then all day and night, all over again. It's horrific what they do to him. But yeah, so they borrow it, and they, they, whoever, and then whoever else is in their cult also gets access to log onto their stuff. And it's not what I thought it was. Like, I was like, oh, so you guys just borrow this equipment, you human traffic, like they buy over the nanobot in our body, I believe, or they just pay to like laser us or whatever like that from the satellite or the cell phone
Like
tower.
for me, I do definitely have a lot of scars on my body from the inflammation. Like they were talking about this, like the targeting causes a lot of inflammation in the skin. They can get you with lasers, so I have like little dots. Like I got this from my family too, from my mother, and like she has that too. But
Yeah.
and every day they talk about it. They remind me like, oh my god, Amelia, your skin is like ugly, blah blah blah. And again, some people are like, but who is telling you this? I'm like, if you have an awakening and you have a DNA activation, you start to be in control of yourself. You're no longer a puppet in control and enslaved. You are not in your power, which means you are aware that you're not your thoughts. You are not your body. You are a lot more than this. Your consciousness, your soul, you're an energy. You are what you choose to believe of this world. And you are finally your own perspective. You see finally yourself the way you are with your own eyes, and no longer with the eyes of satanic lives that may have been there attached to you, or maybe passed on to you from your parents and other generation before. And maybe you are here to break generational curses and traumas, but whatever it is. So if you are aware that you're not your thoughts, and you receive constantly, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're this, like, how normal is that? It's not normal, obviously. Like suicide, same thing. Some people can say it's mental illness. No, it's not. It's not mental illness. Suicide is not a normal thing, and it is definitely targeting too, like an operator and programming remotely who
Operators, programming, voice to skull, gang stalking, all of that. Yeah.
And it's hard to believe. It's so, like, imagine if you're not a target, you're like, wow,
What is that?
there's human beings who don't live a life and who are enslaved in a human trafficking, and they are working for corporations that are watching other people, and they have to influence those other people to commit suicide or to target others and create chaos, divisions. And it's very hard to believe, but it's
very hard to believe, but people get paid for it. People get paid for it, and then they also get money. They live stream it. You know what I mean? People get to they log on through our eyes, so they get to see it like through our eyes and stuff like that, and they get paid to watch people self detonate. And the program is so horrific. Like I said, I about had a psychotic break when I found out about everything that they could do, and I don't even know everything that they can do. I know a lot of what they can do, but the magnitude of what this is, and then to know like actually everybody's probably getting voice to skull and doesn't even realize it. They're hitting them with their own voice, making them think they have a thought and it's not their thought. Exactly. So
call me a Tamagotchi for a reason, like.
Disgusting. They're so disgusting. They will do anything and everything to see our lives ruined, but we're not going to let our lives be ruined. Matter of fact, do you want to kind of talk about like what some of your goals and aspirations are and like some of the positive things?
Yes. So we're going to finish with this part on to like what we can say, what's something that almost has killed us, we can say, and one of the worst thing that both happens to me or to you. The targeting, and once we first received the electroshock, and the last few years it happens 24/7. So obviously there's good things that came out of that, being a target, and I'm gonna give you some tips, and then maybe I will give you a few tips and give you my goals, aspiration, and what I think about everything, and you're gonna do the same right after. Okay. So I would say, first of all, being a targeted individual has been so difficult. I received my first electroshock after posting a drawing that I've done on social media. I believe for me it was related to my DNA activation, the moment that I was able to take back control over my body, that I was no longer into addictions, I was no longer into, doubting myself. I was in my creative power. And I really believe that is the cause of a lot of targeting when people are creative, like artists, and a lot of people who are expressing themselves. Creativity is very, very powerful. And so since then, I have to admit that it has been really exciting at the same time to know and to see all of the darkness and all of the programs and all of the behind the scenes. Like I would say, like let's say I have this example now. As I was a little girl in high school, I would read like the text, probably you read that too, about angels being targeted from hell, right? Like they were trying to explain something in the intellectual capacity that they had at this time, and now we have a chance to have more knowledge and to kind of break generational curses and traumas and dismantle an entire human trafficking and terrorism. And it's exciting to be in the movement like that. Like some people are like, is she crazy? She's excited to be a part of dismantling a prostitution ring of electronic torture.
Right.
Yes, and it's the exciting part of it all. It's like some people are like, how can she do it every day, being targeted like that and being illegally surveilled? They're invading her space, her privacy. She received electroshocks and blah blah blah. And so for me, justice has become like, I don't know, like it's something so powerful. It's bigger than my life. It's like, I don't know, it's like a force that I have activated. It's like sinking into the universe, to the world, and it's like, it's very powerful. So I'm very proud of that. As they targeted me, they activated something big in me, like justice. And so what I want to say is that we're definitely two angels being targeted from hell. And the old text that we used to read as kids, now we're able to put more words for it. We're able to explain it in other ways, in better ways. And definitely hell, I will tell you, hell is all of the human beings who have sacrificed their life to sacrifice other people, which means they have accepted money, they accepted to be corrupted, in order to have more power, in order to have fame, or because they were extremely jealous, because they had pleasure to see the life of someone else like getting ruined, because they were raised by monsters and they learn how to compete and how to be better than everyone. And it's all the programming that get in store from a young age to our generation. And so to know what's happening behind the scene and what hell is and what they have been doing to my grandmother, to my grandfather, to understand why people have been falling into the stairs, why people have been dying from heart attacks, from car accidents, from all of that, from injuries, like random accidents, sudden death, suicides, even. It's very exciting to understand all of what has been happening behind that. And some people, unfortunately, they are leaving this world because it gets too much for them. And this is exactly what I'm building in my website, Amelia's Secret Paradise, is to help people to deal with anxiety, with stress. If you reconnect to your light, even if they try so hard to override your energy and create anxiety, stress, and push you into addiction, once you come back to something powerful, like a purpose or your emotion, to your heart, it's very hard for them to override your energy and to push you into something you don't want to do, or to make you act out of character. because I could have the devil coming on me right now, but I did this inner work. Now I am 1 billion% in control of myself, and this is exactly what I want you to be too, so that you don't become a serial killer, so that you don't kill someone by accident, because they are able to control you remotely and push you to your limits, you know. And this is exactly why there's serial killer. Why suddenly people kill all of their family? Why a man can kill a wife? I was victim of that. You know, I'm not gonna go in details, but I had attempt of murder made on me. You know, and why and how it happens? It happens with this prostitution ring of electronic torture. They're able to possess human beings and put them out of character. And so, if you don't do this inner work, if you don't connect back to your light, to you, this is how they can manipulate you, disconnect you, and transform you into a serial killer. And this is exactly what I'm going to teach you into my programming that I'm building. And this is what I've done. I've done a reprogrammation the last 5 years, and it has been a big one. And same thing with me and Chelsea. I've seen how much they tried to tell me that Chelsea was lying. She's a fake target. They cannot separate us, because, you know, the purpose and the mission that we have together, it's bringing us together for the rest of our life. Like, never we will be able to be separated, you know, because this is so powerful. We have been surviving the same exact things. So this is how I see it. And so my goal now, I'm going to finish with that. And so now you understand what excites me every day, is to understand all of my ancestors that were thinking they were crazy. They would die in their houses with suicide, sudden death, whatever it is, jumping out of a building. And all of this time, it was this fucking prostitution ring of electronic torture, where our own kinds of people were playing behind the scenes with higher technology and remotely acting like them, like Tamagotchis. Can you imagine that? So we're here to honor and bring justice to our ancestors, to your grandmother, your brother, your sister, your friends that passed away. It was not accidental. It was not. It was orchestration. It was monetizing the suffering and the death of human being in a sick, perverted prostitution ring of electronic torture, human trafficking, terrorism. And now I'm excited by that. It's my purpose. And my goal is to speak on stage with Chelsea and with other targeted individuals to obviously monetize that and build a community and change the world and build a movement and raise a $1 billion collective lawsuit so that victims can be compensated financially. And even if you have been the target of this for 50 years, for 100 years, it's never too late to get your justice, to get your compensation, to come in court, to build your evidences that it is digital, like we're doing right now in a video. It is going to be accepted in court. Video report. And if you want to be a whistleblower, I'm going to finish with that. You can always write down by emails and expose, denounce corruption. We need everyone to denounce and to talk about what they know so that we can dismantle this genocide that is happening worldwide. This is real life, and we're speaking from real experience again. And so, Chelsea, you can go ahead.
Sorry, that's hurting my ear. But that was beautiful, Amelia, and I'm on the same boat. So, you know, before I was targeted, I would have just thought that this was mental illness. My goal is to help raise awareness and, you know, elevate everybody's awareness or consciousness on what this exactly is, what the weapon system is, even though I'm no weapons expert, but to know that it is coming from an outside force, the symptoms that we're experiencing and how dangerous it is, especially for the younger generation. My goals are to hopefully have everybody who is targeted receive proper care, even if it's just in their home. So, you know, to help you guys go home with proper EEG caps with the latest scan that you guys can have 24/7, or some sort of neural monitoring device, at-home EMG machine, so that when we're getting shocked, it all shows up on the EMG machines and then goes back to the doctor. For women and men, you guys do need need transvaginal and rectal ultrasounds because they do sexually assault us with this stuff so that they can see inside of our vaginas, inside of our rectums, where they're hitting us, where the inflammation is, where we're getting lasered, the overheating, the abnormal vibrations, which is actually buffeting inside of the vagina, inside of the rectum, the abnormal movements. It all needs to be like video recorded, and especially the Dopplers. What they do to your guys' rectum when they like increase all of that blood flow to the backside, it's completely abnormal. But if you have the right ultrasound and Doppler, you can catch it and, you know, show like, oh my gosh, all this blood flow is always being sent to my backside. And so that goes back to the doctor. I also want you guys to have like oxygen monitors. I've been choked several times with this stuff. So, you know, like they occlude it, the throat. I don't know how they do it, but you know, they stop our lungs. They stop us from being able to breathe.
So that explain heart attacks, and a lot of sudden death. They have done it too.
Right.
I did first. Now they just did it a little bit. So it's very easy for them to affect the life of someone. That's what we're saying.
Right.
And you imagine how easy it is for them with their tools and technology to end the life of someone. Like we're talking something very real and very severe here, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I would like for everybody to go home with the proper the medical stuff to at least. I obviously we can't like we're in no control of the weapon, but at least it's documented of what's happening to you, and it's going back to your doctor, and it's being seen. You know, all these like abnormal blood disruptions, neurological disruptions, stuff like that. If they hit you, they can catch it in real time, and then also to get Faraday cages, the good Faraday cages for everybody. Proper documentation, and then also some sort of pain control. I haven't really figured out what exactly that is, the symptoms, but definitely that. And then, you know, just like to help raise awareness and to help bring safety and to help bring like medical testing. And then ways that can guardrail you guys from being sent or us, I should say, being sent into the psych ward. So when you guys say you're experiencing electrical shocks, well, if you're experiencing electrical shocks, let's put something on your body and see if we can pick it up. Let's put an EEG cap on you. Let's put a heart monitor on you. Let's put an EMG machine on you. And let's see if you're really getting electrically shocked. Because that's the one thing that happened to me when I went to the hospital to tell them I was getting electrical shocks inside of my vagina. They completely thought I was crazy. I was like, you guys didn't even look to see if I was lying. You guys don't even know if I had a vibrator or something stuck in there. You know, I was like, there needs to be like a proper testing.
That's when
like that before they 150 you. Yeah.
What I've just capped right now is basically when I see prostitution ring of electronic torture. The prostitute in that case will be those, let's say, people in the healthcare system, like what they wanted you to do. They are lying to patient and pretending that nothing is wrong, and they're not doing the proper testing and the proper checking. Like, how can you take someone and tell them they're crazy without verifying the fact of what they talk about first?
Exactly.
If you do the proper scan and you
will
do
see.
the proper scan,
we're getting tore up.
So there's going to be a lot of people who have been trapped down and illegally taken without proper scan and analysis. To say that someone is crazy without verifying what the person says is kidnapping, is, you know, trafficking, it is a human trafficking, what they do. And it also concerning to potential corruption too, that those people can be implicated in a larger operation where they are wanting to have more people into who knows what. Like what they do, what are they doing with the bodies of people when they're no longer here? Maybe they need more bodies, you know? Like, so maybe it's like an entire programs who are inciting certain people to just... I'm not going to pronounce myself more on that, but there's enough evidence already to know that there's something abnormal happening, and we need to dismantle that, and we need to proceed to investigations and arrestations, that's for sure.
I definitely agree. You know, I hope that one day in the future that hospitals will have very good Faraday cages that people like me can get into, the very expensive ones. We immediately get our blood tested for any sort of like nano dust technology or anything like that that could be inside of our blood. We're immediately brain scanned and everything. You know, they put it on us and see like, are they getting attacked? And then there's an immediate report to the police or the FBI or whoever the powers may be that they're actually being targeted with a directional energy weapon. And this is actually a medical emergency. The same type of medical emergency emergency if someone came in with a gunshot wound. That's the type of medical emergency that's
it's so exciting to know that the identities of those people who have participated in those sick, evil programming are going to be revealed publicly. It's very exciting. And what I want to tell you is that you don't need medication. Maybe in certain cases, yes, medication can be helpful. Let's say I have like period cramps, I take an Advil, and it does help with the pain that I may have. That again could be linked to the prostitution ring of electronic torture. Again, like Chelsea has spoken about the, how do you call it? Like all of our organs here, like
your pelvis, your ovaries, your uterus.
Yeah, my uterus, and like what I've talked about, I was putting myself against a wall. I've done some tests, and I proved that it is really directed weapon energy. I was able to turn myself into my belly or on my back, and suddenly the pain was gone. Do you understand? Yeah. Like, let's say the pain was on my belly or on my back. Let's say they were on my belly here, and I turn over, and now it's in my back now. How can you explain that? It goes from my belly to my back.
Right. I can't stand them.
So it proved that they're able to install something and target you. And I've seen those cameras and those surveillance, and it was published on social media, and the person is able to press, let's say they're watching you now remotely, like the things you were doing, like a scan where they can see your and then they can press and selection the body part that they want to target or whatever it is. So people do not need more medication. They need more protection, more medical equipment, more Faraday cages, more tools and things to put onto their, like, let's say they have head problems, heart problems, legs problems. They need to have like a technology, a protection. Not necessarily always or maybe both. Like, again, I'm going to do a disclaimer. I'm not against medication. I believe in certain cases it can help. But what I'm saying is that we need both. We need also to have the proper protection against the EMF radiation, directed weapon energy, because now, like in the conference that I had in Miami, I was speaking with people that are in AI, and they were talking about how dangerous it is today because it has become very affordable. It is very affordable to have access to certain things. Illegal surveillance, hacking, targeting can be a lot easier to have.
Well, Amelia, I have to get going. This has been a great show. I can't wait till your edits and everything like that. I love you to death. It's getting dark out here, so I'm going to have to get inside.
Yes, it was so nice talking to you, and honestly, continue your good work. You have done amazing, and hopefully we influence some of you to speak up. And Chelsea went out of a corrupted criminal organization. We can say a cult. How do you call it?
A cult. Yeah, it was a satanic cult.
Satanic cult. And so if you are watching this video today and that you are into a cult, no matter how long it has been, I think it's a good time today to have courage and to go out of it and forgive yourself, forgive others, and become a whistleblower. I think this life is precious, it's beautiful, and we should protect it and really denounce and stop this nonsense also. No one should live this life in pain, and we should all be free of this modern slavery. So I love you so much, everyone. I love you, Chelsea.
I love you too.
Stay strong, everyone. Bye.
You too. Stay strong.